So I've been using this particular face sunscreen for 3 years now, so I think I'm more than ready to render my review. This is a Korean physical sunscreen, so you can find this in certain Korean supermarkets like H Mart, but you can also find it online. I'll put a link in the description where you can purchase this. Koreans really have their skincare game together, so this one is quite an interesting one. Instead of the more glossy finish for most sunscreens, this one actually has a more of a matte finish, which is what drew me to buy this in the first place. But first, talking about the specs, it is a PA+++, otherwise translated over to an SPF50 plus rating. So very high UV rating, and it comes in this 70 milliliter or 2.36 fluid ounce bottle. So it's a very pocketable size, easy to slip into your bag, and also a airline friendly travel size. This is what it looks like with the packaging. I got the pink one. This is the soft finish one. They have two other versions in a green and blue cap. One of them is more water resistant. But you can see on the packaging, relatively minimalistic. You can read all the ingredients here in English on the side, and also of course in Korean. Some of the key ingredients that stand out to me is zinc oxide, which is definitely the part that blocks out those UV rays. And just letting you know, this isn't entirely fragrance free, so there is a slight scent to it. It's relatively pleasant, but it's not as strong and overbearing at all. So I don't think anybody else can smell it except you when you first apply it. But let's talk about the application and how it feels on the skin. So because it has zinc oxide, it will leave a little bit of a white cast, but it's not very noticeable. I have a darker Asian skin tone. When fully rubbed in, which only takes a few seconds, you have to look very closely to see the white cast. If you haven't noticed already, the bottle design is very peculiar because it's not a gel-like texture. It's literally like milk, hence the name. So it's very runny, so you do need to be careful when you apply it. And a little bit does go a long way. After applying, your skin may look a little bit more matte, not glossy or slimy at all like a lot of other sunscreens, so I can appreciate that. And for those of you who are going for that kind of look, may also appreciate that. Though definitely it's not the same texture as regular skin, so if I were to put my finger against my skin, I could tell that there's definitely something on it. The listing doesn't explicitly mention if it's non-comedogenic, as in it doesn't block your pores, but from my experience, it hasn't really caused me to break out in acne. I do sometimes have acne issues. I think if you're applying it and removing it and reapplying it, then that's okay. But if you were to apply it and apply multiple layers on it throughout the day, I think that would be a problem. As for how well it holds up against sweat and moisture, I can say that I live in a semi-humid environment and I'm always active, working out and also swimming. And it pretty much holds out on its own really well for when I'm just sweating. Swimming, I would say, still holds out pretty well for something that's not rated to be like waterproof. But for sure, I would reapply this more often if you are going swimming. So despite its seemingly small size, it's actually a little bit bigger in capacity for most face sunscreens like this than other ones. Usually they're in like a 1 ounce version. This is again a little over 2 ounces, so I thought I was getting a little bit more bang for my buck. And plus it has an expiration date out of 3 years. So I've actually kind of used this not every day, but for most days, especially during the summer, and sometimes most of the times in the day during the summer, and it has lasted me for those 3 years. So around $20 for 3 years, I don't think is a bad deal. My main gripe is really just the cap design. You can see that the paint has peeled away over time, so leaving it in a hot bag definitely causes the paint to peel off and then, kind of make a little bit of a mess inside your bag. So I wish their paint job could be a little bit improved on the cap design. But otherwise, I think this is a good face sunscreen to pick if you're looking for a physical sunscreen with minimal white cast, easy to apply, and leaves your skin with more of a matte finish and doesn't have that icky or oily touch to it. Again, I'll have the link in the description. Thanks for watching.